What is up, people? Oh, excuse me. Whoa, my voice is hoarse. What is up, people? What is up, people? What is up, people? It's your boy MM2K back again with another episode of SLS featuring MM2K Stadia live session in the house. In the house. I want to shout out to everybody that's in the chat already. You know what I'm saying? Waiting patiently. Sorry, we had to push it back about 20 minutes. My morning brisk took a little bit longer than I expected. Shout out to Victor Del Maestro in the house. David Winfall in the house. Oh, we got that sneaky Ray Sherrod in the house. Hey, look, do us a huge favor. Let everybody know that we're live. Tweet this out, forward this out. We really appreciate it while we're doing all that. Do me a huge favor, y'all. Give me a moment to tweet all this and send this out. Let me know what y'all playing. Let MM2K Charles Aran in the house. Happy birthday to my good brother Ray Sherrod too, man. Shout out to him, man. I just want to say this. Let me know what y'all playing in the chat too. But there is no other brother. There's nobody else out here that has gone across the board and has shown so much love to the community. And here on Stadia Dosage, we're all about family, and loyalty. You know what I'm saying? To when I say loyalty, I don't mean praise all to Stadia. I don't mean that. What I mean is we look out for one another. You know what I'm saying? We look out for our fellow gamer, our fellow community members. Whether we agree with them or not, we look out for them. You know, y'all might see me go back and forth with Duncan. You know what I mean? Let me give you a prime example. You may see me go back and forth with Duncan on Twitter or whatever. That's still my brother, man. He was one when nobody wanted to deal with me. When I was only getting 7 people, like there's 12 of y'all in here right now, and it'll grow. And I appreciate that. I'm not saying that to be cocky. That's, we're still a small channel, trying to do some big things here. But, there was a time to where I wouldn't even get 12 people all together watching my videos. Duncan was out there putting my name out in the weekly sucku, coming on the show, even with his difference of opinion. That's my brother. He showed me some love. You know what I'm saying? And I show him love back. And we go back and forth about different subject matters, but it is what it is. I'm not going to let a piece of plastic or platform deter me from being loyal. And being loyal means that even when you don't agree with somebody, you show them love because they showed you love back. You feel what I'm saying? So I know I get a lot of people that get up in my DMs and stuff like that and be like, yo, MM2K, why you kicking it with this one and kicking it with that one? And why you... Look, man, loyalty is at the core of rocking with MM2K. And what I mean is, don't go slicing me in the back because I don't agree with you on something, because I'm not going to do that to you. I may call you out, be like, yo, I don't know about that you rapping about. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my brother Storm the other day. Me and Storm, Storm hit me up. Y'all know the tale. He stopped me from eating some delicious beef stew. Yo, MM2K, look, man, I got to tell you the truth, man. I was like, what, Storm? He said, look, man, you ain't going to hold this Stadia Dosage thing over my head. But I said, what is you talking about? He said, man, that Amazon Luna, man, it's out of this world. It's out of this galaxy, man. It's up there putting satellites around the earth, around the globe like Starlink, man. You ain't going to hold me down on this. I said, Storm, what is you talking about, brother? He said, man, Amazon Luna's knocking Stadia out the box. I said, well, okay, show me how it's doing that. And then he pulled it out of the box and it went, wah. Let me stop. Let me stop. Now, that's my brother. You know I had to tease him. But no, when me and Storm don't see eye to eye, I need that. I need that crowd. Look, one of the most, and because of the nature of my work, I can't say her name. I wish I could, because I can't show enough appreciation for this individual. But my assistant at work, she is the best damn assistant. Like, I need her because sometimes I get so laser focused on stuff, and she be like, "Yo, gotta chill." Like, look, man, and we'll be arguing. Mugs be like, "Oh, y'all sitting there arguing like y'all married." You know what I'm saying? But that's my homie because she keeps me in check. She like, "Look, you're too laser focused in on this, and you need to step back a little bit on that." You know, and I'll think about it and I'll be like, "Yo," I'll call her Jay. "Yo, Jay, you right. You right." You know what I mean? After we done cursed each other out and called each other all types of names in front of all the other employees, then I'll be like, "You know what? You're right." You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. This stream, I wanted to have a focus on appreciation of diversity of thought because we need that. Now, it does go a little bit overboard, like how we saw the last few weeks with the media and Stadia. But even at that, there's a silver lining in that. See, I'm the type of person, again, I know I've said this ad nauseum, but I wake up with the mindset, what can I learn today? Or how can I refocus on something and really get a better understanding of what just happened to me to make me a better person? Because I know I'm flawed. I know as hell. And when I think I ain't flawed, I got my wife. That's the pillar of everything that I do. I got my wife to ground me and tell me, nah, you think you the stuff. You ain't nothing. You ain't Jack MM2K. Calm it down. I be hearing you yelling and screaming all in the mic. You ain't all that. Like stop it. Shout out to my good brother Chase in the house as always with the love and this support, man. He says, shout out to Ray, who is one of the biggest hearts in the gaming community. Also, drop those facts. We all disagree sometimes, MM, but there's always respect and love. Love you, brother. And that love goes back, man. I get people, you know what I'm saying? I love everybody. I had to tell a content creator one time, I ain't gonna name no names. There was some hoopla happening in the community. And content creator was like, yo, XYZ is happening with this person and that person and this and that, and let's move forward and let's do some things. And I'm like, look, man. In so many words, look, I love everybody in this community. Agree or disagree, I love them all. As long as they got respect for me, I got respect for them. And yeah, there's sometimes I've been disrespected or whatever. You know what I mean? I just keep it rolling. I'm not going to focus or hark upon it. You do your thing, I'm going to do mine. It's like the great prodigy from Mobb Deep said. Let me see if he said, "You do your thing, you do your thing, I'll do my thing, kids, stay out of my way." You know what I'm saying? I have no quarrels, no beef with anybody. I have disagreements of opinions, but that's okay. And a lot of times when I ask people questions, it's not to degrade their opinion. It's to say, hold on, I got this solid belief in XYZ, and you're bringing up ABC. Maybe ABC is right, and I was focused on XYZ incorrectly all along. Help me understand. See, sometimes y'all see me out there say, help me understand, and y'all think I'm trying to come at somebody. No, it's like something went ding in my head, like, okay, there's a possibility for this. However, XYZ still sounds solid to me. And I love that engagement. And because I love that engagement, y'all, that's why we're going to talk about it. You'll be surprised at the sources of information that I go to when I talk to people. Shout out to my brother Chase with the love as always, man. You got to stop this, man. He said, man, make it $20. It's always important to make sure to spread love. Sometimes we got to take a step back and go radio silent. Friendships aren't worth losing over pizza. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So when I say, yo, that's my homie, this, that, I get it. It ain't got to, they ain't got to be your homies. Everybody, I love diversity of thought and diversity of opinions. But just understand where I'm coming from, man. I really don't have no quarrels, no beefs. You do your thing, I'll do my thing, kids. Just stay out about, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't got no respect for me, it's not a problem. I'm gonna stay out of your way. I ain't gonna trip you up. I ain't gonna, dog you out or whatever. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Just let me do mine. All right. Shout out to Victor Del Maestro with the $1.49 sticker, man. I appreciate it. I love y'all, man. I'm serious. Let me tweet this out, but let me know what y'all been playing too. I want to tweet this out. I want to hit the Discord. I want to let everybody know that we're live because I think this is gonna be a good one. A little bit of a different tone than usual. I think it's needed. But hey, let me tell y'all this real quick. Tell me what y'all playing in the chat before we get started, because we ain't got a heck of a lot of time. I've already babbled on for 11 minutes. Talking about love, waving the incense and the candles and the sage, talking about love, right? Sending love letters to everybody. But I want to tell y'all this while y'all telling me what y'all been playing in the chat. Excuse me. Excuse the pig. There's going to be a game tomorrow. It's going to be brutal. I know it's going to be brutal. My homie Brian, captain of TSI, Brian Evolved, he has a Madden league. All right. And I'm in it. Storm is in it. And Brian's in it. I already know that Brian is I know he can play some Madden, right? I can't play no Madden all like that. I try, but I'm all right. I might be 10th out of everybody, in the 10th at best. Now that I've been practicing. But me and Brian are gonna lock horns tomorrow. I think 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Watch Brian. He's gonna live stream it. And I'm gonna private stream it first, and then I'm gonna put it out later because I'm gonna stream it in 1440p. But it's gonna be Kansas City versus, I don't know whose Brian's team is. Brian is gonna whoop my Brian is gonna whoop my ass. I'm not even gonna front. I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna tie-dye my ass all over the corner of the boulevard. It's okay. It'll be a learning experience for me. I'll be salty. You'll hear me. That's why I'm putting my stream out there, because you're going to hear me cursing and swearing as he's kicking my ass. And I know it's going to be hilarious. And you're going to want to see my stream after the fact. But check it out live on Brian Evolve's channel tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to see, he's going to dog me. I don't even want to think about when I play Project Storm. That score might be 9,372 to nothing, to -8. I don't even want to think when I play Project Storm. That's even if I get that far. I don't know if me and him on regular season calendar or schedule together. But Brian is going to kick my ass. He has the Jets, Ray. Ray says he's going to kick my ass with the Jets. So if you want to see an irregular event, the Jets destroying the Kansas City Chiefs, come and watch Brian Evolved tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on his channel. Maybe later that day or the following day on Saturday, I will have the event recorded at 1440p. Shout out to my brother Chase again. He said, drop those super chat, ladies and gentlemen. Been playing Rogue Company. Shout out to, man. And Chase is thinking about, I know he's been toying with the fact that he might do another Rogue Company tournament. Also, if you're in Rogue Company, if you're in GFN, now I'm going to talk about GFN a little bit, but we'll get to that part. But if you're playing GFN, I'm going to say this, despite what I'm going to talk about later today, GFN is dope on several games, even in my opinion. I feel GFN, and Rogue Company is one of them. When I booted up Rogue Company on there was no ghosting, none of the artifacting, the stuff that I normally see. That was heavily optimized on GFN. It's dope on GFN. And Destiny's 1, There's some other games on there too that I feel like they are like really optimized on GFN, and Rogue Company is definitely at the top of the list in my opinion. So if you don't have a new console or a console at all and you want to play Rogue Company, I highly suggest getting it on GFN. Even get the bundle. My son loves playing GFN and playing Rogue Company on there. You know what I'm saying? So in my household, again, it ain't no, we're not spending no money towards GFN because Stadia is my preferred. No, we don't rock like that. You know what I'm saying? My son loves GFN. I'm on Stadia. He loves GFN. He has a job, which I don't play that. I've been working since the age of 13. So he's 14 now. So he's a year late to the. Oh, no. He started working. He started his job when he was 13. And he'll be 15 this month. Golly. True. But yeah, I've been working nonstop since the age of 13. So he got him a job. And now it's like to the point he's where I want him to be at. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Big stuff for birthdays and for Christmas. All right, hook me up. But he don't want nothing from nobody. I'll get it myself. I got my money. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it myself. So he went and bought him this little Chromebook, right? And GFN is killing it on Chromebooks. Chase can attest to that. GFN is killing it on Chromebooks. It's giving Stadia a run for its money. GFN may be the king of Chromebooks. Ain't that a tiddly doot? If I get to make up my own terms today, ain't that a tiddly doot? GFN is killing it on Chromebooks. So he got this little Chromebook, right? So he played number, and he's a PC guy anyway. So I built him a rig. It's a decent rig. He don't even play the rig no more. He just go around gaming on GFN on this little Chromebook and playing his Steam games and stuff that he can on there, right? So, like I said, all of these have benefits and they do things and they have pluses and they got things that they got to improve on. All of them do, including GFN, if they want to be on the big stage, because that's what the Daddy Device warlords, they're complaining about. They're saying none of these cloud gaming platforms belong on the big stage. And what y'all got to remember too, y'all, is that PC gaming gets a lot of hate, even though there's 1.2 billion PC gamers. They get a lot of hate. So if they get a lot of hate with 1.2 billion gamers, what do you think they're going to do to GFN? Y'all are under the wrong impression that GFN is going to be more socially accepted than Stadia. No, there's just pure hate for cloud gaming. For some reason. And I did a shout out to my Patreon members and our Stadia Sure Shot members that get access to everything. If you're a Stadia Sure Shot member or you're a Patreon member, I recorded it this morning. It'll be up and running tomorrow. And then there's also another piece of content for Patreon members that's going to go live today, where I talk about PC. Actually, I'm talking about PC and PlayStation 5. But in the whole issue there. But shout out to our Patreon members and our Stadia Sure Shot members. There's going to be a piece of content going up tomorrow where I break down the psychology even further. I did this a couple weeks ago, and I break it down even further, talking about, hey, do you have a friend that just is mad at you for some reason because you like Stadia? Like, have you ran into that? But just put ones in the air if you run into that. Put ones in the air. You probably never propagandized about Stadia. They just mentioned Stadia, and you probably just all you said was, yeah, I game on Stadia. I like it. That's all you said is I like it. And they check in with you routinely. You still playing that dog-ish Stadia? Have you ever had friends that do that to just give you a hard time? They make it even difficult for you to game with them, because they give you such a hard time about liking Stadia. But put the ones in the air. If you run into that situation, I got a piece of Patreon content for you. Or if you're a Sure Shot member, I got a piece of content for you, where we break down why they doing this. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the psychology that's there because for people that just bought new consoles. If you bought new consoles, look, I got to keep it real with you. It's not bumping the way that normally a new console launch is bumping. Like if you look at the news, and again, you're speaking to someone who dropped $500 for a PlayStation 5. So I'm not just sitting there talking ish without skin in the game. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. If you notice previous gen launches, the news is just bumping about new consoles. God, I got this and that. We tested this and that. All they talking about now is RDNA 2, RDNA 3, stuff that y'all don't know about. We got people with podcasts that's like, look, there ain't even nothing to talk about. And that's a great segue in what I'm going to talk about, in a few seconds. It's not bumping. So because it's not bumping, part of that psychology is, dang, man, did I waste too much? Did I waste my money buying that $500 console? Did I waste my money? And then you got Richard Review Tech that came out there. Big time console lover. Richard Review Tech came out there and said, yo, I got my PlayStation 5, I got my Xbox Series X. I love them, but they're not ready. They shouldn't have came out. PlayStation got too many bugs. Xbox ain't had no games. They're not ready. So you got that dynamic. So when you have that dynamic going on, and then you have Forbes that comes out and says, yo, before all this SG&E news, they said, yo, we showed y'all yesterday on SSC Podcast. Forbes came out and told you the real next gen platform isn't PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. It's Stadia. Why? And they were looking solely at platform and what it offers. They were looking at, okay, yes, the load times are increased on all of them, or the load times are fast on all of them, right? And yes, PlayStation 5 has that DualSense controller, which is amazing. People that front on that controller, y'all just hating. But, and then Xbox got the quick resume, okay, which is fly. But when you look at like real deep, hardcore things that's really uprooting your gaming experience, Forbes themselves, the home of Paul Tassi, said Stadia got more check boxes right now out of the box. And Stadia ain't even offering the full bells and whistles and fidelity that they're offering, but it's okay because they balance it out in the stuff that they're giving you. The no downloads, the state share, the stream connect, the portability. I can play Doom Eternal either on my PC and get the greatest fidelity, go boop, bop, boop, and put it on my phone, and it play exactly the same way. No other platform can say that. Arguably, the biggest game of 2020, arguably, Cyberpunk 2077. Play it on boop, 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 move it over to my phone and roll and kick it and roll out like it's nothing. Even Forbes said that. So you have that dynamic, and you have why we're going to get into what we're discussing today. Why we should appreciate what just happened with all this news media hoopla and this hate towards Stadia. So I want to say this, y'all. First and foremost, the biggest fault of the media coverage, there were two things. Number one, they didn't vet. They regurgitated stories, simply retwisting it with their headline without vetting the information. They just regurgitated it because the claims in the stories were salacious. And that was solidified by the fact that when Kotaku came out with its story about the 505 game stuff, right? Nobody vetted. Like I saw somewhere where there may have been some people that talked to Google support corporate or the main Google support who was not Stadia support. And I know this because working for a Fortune 500 company and being the manager of a phone center, when people called into our corporate and asked questions relative to my unit, see, corporate is a completely different business animal. I'm a completely different business sector. So what that manager of the corporate switchboard did is they called me up one day and they said, hey, look, we regularly get calls about XYZ, and I feel like there are easy answers to these calls. But because we don't have the answers, instead what we do is we flip them to y'all. And instead of making the people wait again through another queue, how about we answer them for you? And that'll make everybody happy. That'll make them happy because they're getting the answers. That'll make us happy because we're gaining our knowledge base. That'll make y'all happy because y'all ain't got to deal with the call and a frustrated person because they had to talk to two agents. Oh, excuse the pig. Sorry. So why don't you give us the talking points for these 10, let's say 10 situations? And we did that. Now, anything that may look like it belongs under, let's just say, talking point number 3, but it's a little bit more fleshed out, might require them to forward them to us, but it depends upon the acumen of the agent. If the agent don't pick up on that, which is common, they might just leave it at bullet point number 3. You know what I'm saying? So, prime example, we had apparently some people that reached out to Google corporate support and was asking questions about Stadia. And they clearly were working off some bullet points where they said, oh, maybe you might need to talk to the publisher. Clear bullet point answer. And what it was is it was a situation with Journey to the Savage Planet. So 505 Games was like, well, hold on, no. And y'all need to go talk to them. Google should be aware, but that's how that works. If you talk to corporate support, instead of that specific support for XYZ issue, you may run into an agent that doesn't understand, okay, this is deeper than rap. I need to send this directly to these people. They might try to use those bullet points to answer it. It's happened to us plenty of times in what we do. But instead of researching all that, because I saw someone that showed me, well, yeah, they are sending stuff to 505. And what it was one example from Google corporate support that sent someone to 505 game, not Stadia. When you go to anybody associated to Stadia, they all said, we know about the problem. We're working on it. Stay tuned to our social media outlets for updates. That's what everybody said that was associated to that situation. Hold on, my homie Victor Del Maestro put something in the chat. He said, what's this, Vic? I just caught it out the corner of my eye. He says, we don't know if it's Stadia or... Well, okay, hold on. Let me take a look at that because I look like there's something interesting. We don't know. How come I don't see it over here? Oh, you retracted it? Why you retracted it? Like some good stuff, brother. I like some good stuff, Victor. I don't know what that is, but I wanted to check out that link. But anyway, yeah, so that's what happened there. But instead of doing due diligence, because look, what I discovered, somebody told me and said, oh, yeah, this has been floating in our Facebook chat. And I said, what's that? And it was a snippet of a Twitter response from Alex Hutchinson himself, where Alex Hutchinson said, "Yeah, while we're still here, we're fixing it. We're working on the issue." Nobody vetted that. Nobody talked to Alex. And I know nobody talked to Alex. Nobody vetted that because it doesn't come up in reference at all. If somebody would have vetted that, and let's say Alex was let go on the 14th before it was resolved, they would have said it. That would have made their pieces golden. They would have said they were working on it, but Stadia not thinking this through thoroughly, let Alex and his team go on the 14th with the problem unresolved. That would have made their pieces even more solid. Because I know that was an argument that was being thrown out. So they clearly didn't vet the information. That would have killed all that noise. So again, there was a lack of vetting of important information that was vital to killing a lot of this noise that didn't happen. Now, shout out to the homie Robert Gasparovich, which I get where you're, and this is why we have these open mic sessions. I get the excuse, and I'm not being mean when I say this, because I fell victim to it too, Robert. I get the misconception, but when you say something like that, that takes into account. That doesn't take into account that Phil Harrison is the man, one of the original 40 people that created the PlayStation. Him and his team discovered Naughty Dog for PlayStation. This man also opened up a successful mobile business, which caused him to retire. It was so successful, and he became rich off of that. It caused him to retire. He was like done with gaming for a while before he came to Stadia. I know that there's this urban legend that he killed the PlayStation 3 launch, which is baloney. A lot of people think that he walked in the PlayStation with the PlayStation 3 and he killed the launch. No. Phil Harrison was one of the European or the Western wing of the executives that was telling the Japanese or the Asian wing of the executives, don't sleep on Xbox. Like, Xbox is doing something this generation. And because the Japanese wing couldn't see Xbox becoming popular because it wasn't popular in Japan, that's how the PlayStation 3 fell behind. Because of the Japanese wing's inability to imagine. Lastly, when it comes to the Xbox One, all he did was he was head of European studios. Was he on the stage introducing the Xbox One? Yeah, they asked the man to come up on the stage. He has an impeccable lineage. They asked him to come on the stage and talk about the product that he's, head of the European studios for. He had nothing to do with the launch. He came up on the stage and talked about the device. He was head of European studios. Now, the reason why I brought that up, Rob, is because I too believe this. And I'm glad you brought this up. I too believe this. Why did I believe this like you believe it? Because the media kept saying this over and over again, and I believed it too. But that shows you that the media now, they're not about honest digging and honest collaboration on, okay, well, we might run this story based off of what you said, but where did you get this information? All of that integrity is out the window for the most part. Nobody did their research or their homework on Phil Harrison, hence why this myth, this legend persists. However, that's why I say not all are guilty. Shout out to Ryan McCaffrey of IGN. I don't agree with Ryan McCaffrey's opinions and takes on stuff, but it don't matter. Who cares? I love the journalistic work that he's starting to do. He's starting to really grow as a journalist and someone that does his due diligence. He sat down with Phil Harrison and interviewed this man from A to Z, and all these revelations came out. All the myths got dispelled. So what I urge you to do, Rob, and anybody else listening that is not the wiser, go check out IGN Podcast Unfiltered, the episode with Phil Harrison, and you'll be made abreast of what his actual lineage is. It isn't what people made it seem to be. He is one of the original 40 people that helped start the PlayStation, that helped kick off the PlayStation. Him and his team discovered Naughty Dog for Sony while they were at Universal. They were with Mark Cerny. Mark Cerny at the time was just a consultant to Sony from, I believe, he had his, and then he was at Universal, then he created his own company. Mark Cerny, I believe, discovered them for anybody, but it was Harrison's team that was like, yo, this team is on fire. Brought that information back to Phil Harrison, and Phil Harrison and Yoshida went and signed this dude on the Sony. So it was Harrison's team, along with Harrison and Yoshida, to sign these dudes to Sony. So that's why we gotta get our knowledge base up and not rely too much. And it's a shame. You can't rely too much on this media because they'll lie to you and they'll deceive you because it works. Because they're lazy in a lot of ways. They don't want to do that due diligence. They just want to put together the fancy words, hurry up and get it out there the fastest. And all they want to put most of their effort in putting the words together. They don't want to put their effort in the research. And that's why, despite me feeling that Jason Schreier's piece really fell flat as far as doing any real damage to Stadia that maybe he wanted it to do, despite that, I still think that Jason Schreier is one of the best at it. When it comes to doing this journalist stuff, I think he's one of the best at it. I'm trying to find something here. I can't find. How come I can't find my document? I just had it open. It was a document that I had open. I wanted to share with y'all. Under. No, hold on. Let me try something else. Oh, come on, stop it. Yeah, this is it. Oh, I got it under the wrong thing. But yeah, Rob, that's the thing. I get where there's a lot of angst about Phil. I know there's like this false narrative about him, but we got to do some research. Now, am I saying that Phil is perfect? No, I don't think he's handled everything perfectly. There are questions about Jason Schreier posed that what they wanted to do, a lot of the staff wanted to release Stadia as a beta, and then later, in the fall, do like a full-fledged launch. And I think that would have worked out. That probably would have worked out better. There still would have been daggers at it. I don't think that wouldn't have solved all those problems, but I think it would have went over a little bit better if they did it that way. Another problem that I see with Phil Harrison is more recently with the Q&A from a business perspective. I do think that, and to really, he was trying to be a kind guy. Hold on one second. Oh shoot. Oops, sorry about that. I'm sitting there doing all this talking and y'all can't even hear me. Okay. All right. So what did I say? I had to blow my nose real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. Um, damn, I did. No, I was saying y'all might be sitting there thinking that Phil Harrison, he's a mean guy because he told them that they were doing good right before they left. And what I'm telling y'all is legal would have told him and PR would have told him, you got to keep up appearances. So if he normally walked around and told people you're doing a great job, if he did that every 2 weeks and it was coming back around that time for him to do it, he still had to do it. I've unfortunately had to do that. I've had to let people go, and I've had to keep up appearances, and I've had to sit there and talk to the staff afterwards. Like, oh, you made so-and-so think that we thought everything was okay. That's part of the job. That's part of the Fortune 500 norm. And I've had to take that air beating. But here's where I think he messed up from a business perspective. He did not answer the questions. Did you know? He didn't answer the questions about what led to this decision right. From a business perspective. Why do I say a business perspective? This is going to sound bad. Because regardless of how you answer, you got to balance out trying to connect with people and trying to be sympathetic. You got to balance that out with long-term longevity for the company. And I don't think he did that appropriately. Because, number one, when I was asked, when did you know? Or did you know when you sent out this email? I wouldn't have, I would have said, you know what? I can't really go into specifics of when we were told. But I can tell you that throughout this whole process, you guys were doing a fantastic job. This is not an easy decision. You guys were doing a fantastic job. No fault of your own. It's just that the company has realized the redundancy. And unfortunately, we have to dissolve the company. I mean, we have to dissolve you guys, but through it all, it's a testament to how good you guys are. It's to no fault of your own. I wouldn't have said, oh, yeah, we knew. As a matter of fact, I've never, in my 25 plus years of managing and working in the Fortune 500 world, I've never heard anybody answer that question like that. This is where you got to be savvy, and he wasn't savvy enough. And it's come back to bite Google. It's bitten Google in a major way. Also, I wouldn't have answered the question about what was behind that. What was behind the decision? There was a multitude of things. I can't get into I can't talk about specifics right now because these are ongoing situations. However, what I can tell you is that it wasn't because of the work that you guys did. Again, like I said before, you guys did a phenomenal job. And I know, this is painstaking to hear this despite what's going on. But again, multiple decisions led to this happening. And we'll do whatever we have to do. We'll talk about, the SIPA packages or whatever. We'll get into that conversation with HR later to support you in this transition because of this redundancy. But what I can say was to no fault of your own. So you can't, that's where Phil Harrison messed up. I can tell you right now, from a Fortune 500, if my boss was his boss, when these articles came out, he would have said, hey, Phil, did you really say that? Close that door. And he would have cussed his ass out. He would have cussed him out. You mother. And let me tell you something. If y'all watch Billionaire, I'm on episode 2 of Billionaire, season 1, where they're like in the staff room, and They're just talking real loose at the mouth, and real foul, and this. That's how it gets. You get the right people in the room, and they're all comfortable with each other. That's how board meetings are at the Fortune. People think their ish don't stink, and they get in that cocky mood, and they just start talking crazy. And I had a boss that when he told you to shut that door, oh my. So that's where Phil messed up. He messed up there. He said I watched it. Victor said I watched a half dozen of the show. Yeah, I'm getting into it now because I just finished Atlanta. I'm mixed about Atlanta. Season 1 was hilarious. It gave me vibes of Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's the show with Childish Gambino, where his cousin is a rapper, Paperboy, and he's his cousin's manager. Season 1 was like classic. It was hilarious. Season 2 was what I imagined the whole show was going to be about, this weird type of want to be serious / weird humor. Dark. I didn't like season 2. It took itself too seriously. When this show didn't take itself too seriously, I loved it. It reminded me of a cross of Curb Your Enthusiasm meets Arrested Development in Atlanta. So I highly urge everybody to watch Atlanta season 1. But that said, yeah, that's where I think Phil messed up. But my underlying message for everybody is I think we should appreciate all this attention, despite the fact that there was a lot of misinformation being cascaded, information not being vetted. The reason why I think we should appreciate it, y'all, is because, look, the Ouya, when the Ouya was out, and there's a lot of comparisons made to the Ouya. But when the Ouya was out and it was going through certain situations, people would chuckle and be like, yeah, the Ouya. They talk about it for like 2 or 3 minutes. And they leave it alone. Right? Because nobody took the Ouya seriously. People are falsely making comparisons here. Number one, because I wholeheartedly believe, with the evidence that we have in front of us, I believe that Stadia's not going anywhere now. Am I in the boardroom? No, I'm not. But neither who is in the board. And let me say this real quick. I made a comment yesterday that I still hold true to. That may sound a little shrewd, a little jagged, but it's true. With all this news that's going on, a lot of people were like, well, hold on, MM2K. Jade Raymond retweeted twice this tweet from WCCF Tech and somebody else that alludes to Stadia closing down its gaming operations altogether. And I say this, like I said yesterday, I'm not in the boardroom. Jason Schreier ain't in the boardroom. WCCF ain't in the boardroom. Tech ain't in the boardroom. And guess who else ain't in the boardroom? Jade Raymond. As close as Jade Raymond was to the operations and stuff that was happening, she wasn't in the boardroom. And you can be close to stuff and still not know what the hell's going on. Hence why, if Jade Raymond, now Jade Raymond may have been able to break down stuff that happened in past tense, but she can't tell you what's about to happen. If Jade Raymond was that tapped into what's going on at Google, as far as what's going to happen, she would have known in advance that she was going to get let go. Or if the information that's coming from whoever it's coming from, you would have heard, oh yeah, the staff knew something was up. The staff knew, the feeling in the air was of despair. Oh man, yeah, the morale was bad. It was down. It was bad. We knew we was getting let go. No, People were so upset because they were caught off guard because they were told they were doing a good job and they thought that meant a continuation of their services, including Jade Raymond. And again, I'm not going to pretend like I'm in her head, but I can understand why Jade Raymond could be upset, angry, or even possibly jaded. From what I'm hearing, this is the third studio that she's been at in a row where nothing surfaced from it. I think last time she was at EA working on revival or Star Wars games or something like that, if my information is right. So she's been at 3 studios back to back to back to back, and nothing's derived from them. And she probably went to Google and said, look, I'm not interested, and y'all not putting y'all all into this. If you're not going to put your all into this, don't sign me up. And she probably was given assurances like, oh no, it's our plan to put our all into this. And a year out, they let them go. So she got a right to be upset. I'm not saying she ain't got a right to be upset or mad or even jaded. But that doesn't mean that as soon as she got let go, a magical crystal ball popped into her hand that she didn't have before. Because I imagine if she had a magical crystal ball, like so, that could tell what Google was going to do, someone that's been part of 3 studios, I believe, maybe just 2, I don't know. But 3 studios that back to back to back to back didn't produce anything, but yet signed you on and got your expectations all up and just dropped them like a sack of potatoes. If you get any inkling that these people ain't serious the third time around, you're gone already. Now, am I right or am I legit? Am I right or am I legit? If she had any inkling of what Google's moves were going to be in the future, she would have been able to say, oh, see, I'm not with this. I'm gone. And she would have been left. Now, am I right or am I legit? So we got to take that into consideration, folks, that when we're parsing this news and we're parsing actions. I know everybody was like, yo, Jade Raymond retweeted this. And even I said it's not a good look. But when you look deep into it, when you think hard about it, if these people that are giving all this old information out knew what was going on in the future, they would have knew that their jobs were on the line. And that would have been evident in the reporting. They would have said, yeah, it was kind of clear. It was getting kind of clear that Google was going to shut things down because of this, that. No, they had no clue. That's why they're so upset. That's why they asked, when did you know? When did you know? Why would you ask somebody when did they know if you already had an inkling? Because you didn't. So we got to take that with a grain of salt, y'all. And also, when you look at all this reporting, all of it talks about actions that occurred prior to April. Now, what happened in April? All the stuff. Now, the games that possibly were worked on, that Google cast doubt to, the games that were possibly worked on were ongoing, but like the events, the strategy stuff, the strategic stuff, all that stuff that's brought up in these articles is from what I understand, is prior to April. Now, what happened in April? Well, in April, Google launched its Stadia free tier. And I can tell you, because I've already told you, I can't give you specifics, but I can tell you, I've seen numbers where the engagement after that went up over, I can't tell you how much over, but went up over 1,000%. We were seeing, I was seeing engagements just off of one way, because you know there's multiple ways to sign up for Stadia. You can sign up via just your computer. You can sign up via the phone, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. But just out of one way of signing up, I saw engagements, not through one way, that were in the realm of tens of thousands a day. Can I repeat that? Let me repeat it for the people in the back. When Google launched its free tier, and then they dropped PUBG and all that stuff, right? They had us clapping like a baby seal. We saw engagements just in one way of signing up to Stadia in the realm of tens of thousands a day. Y'all catch that in the back. So anything that happened at April, yes, it was a mess. It was a mess. But once April hit, you slowly but surely were starting to see a transition of engagement. Kind of like that grassroots engagement was starting to, take its hold. Leading all the way up until what? Now what happened? Leading all the way up to the successful marketing campaign with Austin Creed and a young lady from Sci-Fi, the YouTube Premium Stadia bundle giveaway, and that ran out. Remember, that ran out in days. So people were talking about, Stadia had to give away controllers. They didn't give them away just to anybody for free. Stadia gave them away to paying customers. They said, hey, or Google gave them just paying customers. They said, hey, if you are a YouTube Premium member and you want one of these, you got to go here and let us know you want one. If you let us know you want one, we'll send you one. If they didn't just send them to you, you had to let them know that you wanted one. You had to be a paying customer and you let them know that you wanted one. And once you did that, and once people did that, they ran out. Then you saw family share, where in some cases it raised people's active friends list to up 1,000%. People's friends list went from an active 30 to 300. Then you saw Cyberpunk 2077 that resulted in brick and mortar stores selling out. And again, more controllers that may have been earmarked prior to April 1st being earmarked for the Cyberpunk 2077 launch. And those ran out. Right? So all these reports talk about events and planning that happened prior to April. But since April, you had this uptick of activity and things that pretty much could have made those prior months a wash. So that's why I say appreciate all this that you've seen, because the best that the news media could do was go to old information that for all intents and purposes, since the release of the free tier has all been a wash. The extra controllers, all been to paying customers. The only way you could get them is if you were a premium YouTube subscriber or you bought Cyberpunk. Those are all paying customers. So those extra controllers are all gone. That's been a wash. Friends list up 1,000%. Engagements at one point in time up 1,000%. Tens of thousands a day. Cyberpunk selling out units in stores. You couldn't get one for 3 weeks. All that stuff since then has been a wash by more recent activity. And if that's the best they can do about Stadia despite all of the I've never seen a platform in my 30 plus years in gaming. I've never seen a platform so egregiously attacked. Xbox comes close, but see, at least with the Xbox, they didn't lie and not vet stuff as much as they did with Stadia. They clearly have no understanding about fundamental stuff about Stadia and still will run a story with it being 1,000% wrong. Some entities will know that, will note that in their article. Yeah, the said publication that we got this from, yeah, they got a whole bunch of ish wrong, but we still gonna take their stuff and not vet it. I've never seen this before in my life. Never. But it happens to Stadia. And despite all that, Stadia still is standing strong. The game you see on the screen right now, Pixel Junk Raiders. It's a great game. They've increased the number of versions of Stadia or months that come with Stadia Pro if you sign up for the first time. So I urge everybody to, take advantage of that. Get people signed up. We got some things that we're going to be doing here that's going to help in that effort. I'm keeping my mouth shut on that. Just stay tuned. It's going to be very exciting to watch and some very great stuff that we got planned. Just stay tuned. Now, but with that said, that's why it's important to appreciate this stuff and appreciate differences of opinion too. Like, I don't mind differences of opinion. My favorite podcasts are podcasts that don't like Stadia. Like Rebel FM, and I love listening to IGN Unlocked. Because despite the fact that the people of Rebel FM don't like Stadia, they'll tell the truth about things. That's how I learned about the adaptive controlling, I think it is, or the predictive controlling, I'm sorry. I learned that from them, how it works. It's actually in Call of Duty, but Stadia just has a better version of it. Predictive controlling is in Call of Duty. From IGN and Brian McCaffrey. I learned from him in his sit down with Phil Harrison that all that stuff, 95% of the stuff we believe about Phil Harrison is wrong. And I like listening to podcasts Unlocked because there's just some information that in some corners of the space or relative to Stadia that I learned from them. I also like watching when one of the co-hosts sat there and tried to make this inclination that Stadia was dead. Ryan came on and was like, no, you're wrong. It just means that their first party efforts is gone. So I appreciate that. Like I said, Ryan McCaffrey, as a journalist, he's growing. And I appreciate his growth. All right. The homie Kenny says, I'm loving Pixel Junk Raiders. Yeah, it's a great game, man. Michael Maxime says, Sony and Microsoft have been selling their consoles. Thank you. They are literally paying for people to get the hardware. No need to explain giving control. Yeah, come on, man. Like, Michael, thank you. Thank you. That's the hip-hop quotable today. Thank you, Michael. You're trying to tell me that Xbox can lose $7 billion its first generation, $3 billion with the Xbox 360 is most mindshare successful generation, and everything's okay. But Stadia maybe is short a couple hundred, they said several hundreds of thousands, and they gave out some controllers to paying customers, and that's the end of the world. Man, please. Thank you, Michael, for that. Shout out to the homie Chariot Man Gaming in the house, man. Happy Cloud Gaming says, I did work in an oil company. We had a Christmas party, and the day after we got back to the office, we were out of work. The door was closed, and I can't believe that devs did not get any sign of shutdown. Absolutely. Torres in the house says, true, Google needs to get more time in regarding gaming. All superstars take time to make it to the big leagues. Exactly. My homie Dominicano 791 says Jay Raymond doesn't have a LinkedIn profile. Ain't that something? And Aaron Hoffman John still at Google. Absolutely. My homie Robert responded to my concern, my points earlier. He said, I think Stadia has a lot of potential. You just need a person to thrill the masses, and that's not Phil Harris. Look, I get where you're coming from, and I do agree that you need a personality, but why does the personality got to be the GM? Like, does what's that dude's name? The one that they call Lion Ryan. Sorry, y'all. That's in head of PlayStation. He don't excite people, but PlayStation just gives people what they want. And that's why they kicking butt like they were kicking last generation. It's the same gap pretty much that it was last generation, despite all of Xbox's efforts. So, but I get what you're saying, brother. I'm just saying, it's like, we're looking at Stadia at a different lens and unfairly sometimes, and we just got to be cognizant of that. 706 Gamer, he says Stadia's dead. That's my bro. Shout out to 706 Gamer. Of course, he comes late and he misses his education. But yeah, man, we'll run through it again real quick. No. Hey, look. Phil Spencer? Nah. Phil Spencer is too polarizing. He would make matters worse at Stadia. The people at Xbox, the fanboys love Phil Spencer. They love him. But people that are leery of Xbox can't stand him. Because you think Stadia got a problem fulfilling promises, which all of its promises, except for SG&E, they fulfilled by now. They just came later than what people expected. But there's so many things that Phil Spencer done said is coming, and he done backtrack on them. He done flip-flop harder than a dolphin in the Atlantic. No, we don't need somebody like Phil Spencer. Oh, no. All right, so here's the thing, y'all. I want to talk about GFN real quick. I'm going past my time, but I want to talk about GFN. I got a video dropping later today, and I want this to be a precursor to it because a lot of you that prefer GFN, which is cool. Like I said, all these cloud gaming platforms, we do got to stick together because rising tides lift all boats. People like 706 Gamer, like this fool right here. That's my bro. They think that cloud gaming ain't going nowhere. They think that it's still going to just be Sony, Xbox. They don't understand that cloud gaming right now does not have to compete with Daddy device gaming in order for it to be profitable. And that's also part of my Patreon content. So if you're a Patreon member or you're a Short Shot member, you get to hear that. My explanation of that even though it's a 2% business, that's 2% of 270 billion is a lot. It's like 8 billion, I think it is, right? Or it's a 2 to 4% business. So it's around 4 billion right now. So if you're a cloud gaming platform and you got a good stranglehold of those that are interested in cloud gamers are different from Daddy device gamers. They're gamers that either are sick and tired of the inconvenience of Daddy device gaming, or they don't have the money to continue in Daddy device gaming. Like right now, if I want to play Destiny on Xbox or PlayStation, I got to get an Xbox or PlayStation. If I want to play Destiny on Stadia, I just boot up one of the devices that I already have, and I can jump into it free to play. Right? So there are people out there that want a game that just diverted from it because they don't have the money. There are those that diverted from Daddy device gaming because of the convenience. So what I'm saying is that there's enough of those gamers that have equated to 4 billion in revenue right now for cloud gaming. So if you're doing pretty well in the cloud gaming space and you got a good slither of that pie, you can do pretty well. You're not going to do as well as PlayStation or Xbox right now, but you can do pretty well. You can do well enough to more than sustain your business keep it rolling, keep making enhancements, keep making investments to springboard you to compete against PlayStation and Xbox years down the road when your platform is at its apex. And that's what all these platforms are doing. That's what GFN is doing. That's what Stadia is doing. That's what Amazon Luna is doing. That's what they're all doing. They're just riding that $8 billion wave, or the $4 to $8 billion wave, trying to get a good slice of that pie to help subsidize their efforts, them building up their platform. And then once they feel like, okay, now we're ready, boom, here we go. Now we're trying to compete with Xbox or PlayStation. Those that get their news from GitHub and IGN and from all these normal places that are talking about RDNA 2 and 3, they don't understand that because they're not doing the due diligence or the research to look that up. They don't understand the $4 to $8 billion business perspective here that's going on that is sustainable for a cloud gaming platform. So while we're going through that dynamic, and we still got the naysayers that are in their bubble, but it's a bigger bubble, so it's going to take a while for it to pop. But while we got the naysayers in their bigger bubble, it's indicative of us as cloud gaming enthusiasts to hold all these cloud gaming platforms to par. Like, for instance, as great as Stadia is, as far as performance, as awesome as it is, Stadia needs games. Nobody can argue with that. Stadia needs games. They ain't got enough games. I remember my brother went through the 3 degrees of Stadia ups and downs. When I was first making my content, he was like, hey, look, man, you do your thing, man. I appreciate you. I see you out the door, your thing. But I'm not hopping on no damn Stadia. I just picked up my PlayStation 4. I'm happy. For him to go, then he went to go pick up Cyberpunk 2077 right on PlayStation 4. And this mug was hard. So he's calling, hey, bro. Yeah, what's up with the Stadia thing, man? Right? It's really running smooth. I sent him some clips like, there you go. I'm telling you. This is what I've been trying to tell you for months, but you wanted to be hard-headed. So then he got excited. He was like, yo, he showed up at my crib during the holidays. He said, bro, what you doing? I said, man, I'm about to go live. Matter of fact, me and Storm was about to go live. We was doing me and Storm did the late night version of SML. Remember when we did it Saturday night? Because we couldn't do it in the morning? My brother had called right before that. She said, bro, where you at? I said, oh, I'm doing this thing, man. I said, what you been up to? How's everything going down in the Carolinas? Oh, they doing good, but I'm outside your door. I said, what? And he was outside my door. So me and him started rapping. He showed me. He's like, bro, guess what I did? I said, what? He said, I bought 3 of them Stadias, man. That Stadia's off the hook. It's the future. It's off the chain. I said, really? I said, well, come with me, bro, because I got a show to do with my homie, and we're gonna give some gift cards away. I gotta go pick up the gift cards. So he rolled with me to go pick up the gift cards, and he's like, no, I got this. Pay for the gift card. Pow, pow, I got this. He was so excited about Stadia. Got home, showed me on his security system how they had just delivered to Stadia and how he was watching it, right? So then I rapped to him about a few weeks ago. And I said, bro, how you liking that Stadia? And he's like, man, look, it's the stuff. It's great. It's fantastic. But, bro, they got to up that lineup. I said, well, he said, man, that lineup is cheese, man. He said, I'm done with Cyberpunk 2077, and I feel like I ain't got nothing else to play because everything else I've already played on my PlayStation 4. And I'm like, I can't argue with you. I can dig it. I was like, man, they got to work on that. He's like, yeah, man, they got to work on that. He said, now my wife still uses it for Just Dance. She loves it. But, man, I ain't been on it, man. I said, okay, I got you, bro. I got you. I was like, but be honest. How many new games is out there? And he's like, that's not the point. When I get bored on my PlayStation 4, even though if there ain't a whole bunch of new games, there's a whole bunch of other games that like AAA games that maybe I overlooked that I can get into right now. Y'all ain't got that right now. And I said, okay, I got you. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. Right. So, yes, Stadia needs to work on this lineup. And that's why they got rid of SG&E. They got rid of SG&E to free up money to work on that lineup, to bring in more games so people like my brother won't be saying stuff like that. Or people like me that won't be saying stuff like that. I mean, I'm happy with Ubisoft Plus, but everybody ain't like me, right? So that's Stadia's hurdle, right? And they're working on it. You make mistakes. Again, like we said, Microsoft lost $10 billion its first two generations. $3 billion the first gen. $7 billion the first gen, $3 billion with the 360. All right? Mistakes are going to be made. And they realize that they shouldn't have been trying to build a first-party studio from the ground up this soon. That being said, now we got GFN. Now GFN got the games. And it was expected to have the games. GFN started on collecting games all the way back in 2017. Stadia ain't started till 2019. GFN now got 800 games. That's cool. That's great. Now they don't have the big games. They can't get the they got Cyberpunk, I'm sorry. But they can't get the Activision games. They can't get the Square Enix games. No, they can. They can get Square Enix because people can, but there's a lot of games that they can't get. They can't get the EA games. They can't get they can't get the 2K games, the Take-Two games, and Stadia can get them, but it's cool. They got over 800 games. But here's GFN's problem, and y'all gonna see this in my video later today. GFN's problem is that its stream quality and its stream consistency isn't good enough yet. It's great to have access to them games. But if you're somebody that's going to play and supplement your Daddy device experience, your stream quality can't be cloudy, there can't be artifacting, there can't be ghosting. And and as we deal with the advent of people wanting to game on their phones, it gets even worse when you move from your PC to like either a TV dongle or your phone. So GFN is versatile. Now I explain my experience with GFN on the Outriders demo, and I give you a slither of what I'm talking about and a video that's going to be dropping in like a couple hours. And I want y'all to understand that the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because I want all these cloud platforms to excel the best way that they can. I want Stadia. Now I want Shadow to get better business models. I want Amazon to be better across the board, to give you more options as far as how you get how you get content. And I want Shadow's streaming quality and his queues to go down. Sometimes you got to wait. Storm showed you he waited 30 minutes to get into Watchdog Legions. That's crazy. And a beta tag doesn't excuse that. So I want Amazon to get better at that. I want GFN. I want Stadia to get more games, to get better at more games, and get a little bit more transparent with what's coming down the road, so people know. Oh, I ain't got to get a PlayStation for that. Stadia got to work on that. And what I need GFN to do is I know that they're in a fickle because most of its users are on the free tier, so that kind of drains the money a little bit as far as the revenues are concerned, even though they're seeing growth. But the growth don't supplement the fact that too many of their players are on the free tier and not on the paid tier, as analysts have told us. I get it, but y'all just want to put a little bit more change in it, baby. We need them servers to be better, and I got to be honest. I've been beta testing GFN since 2018, and the quality of the stream has not gotten much better. There are examples of where you can tell people really worked hard on it, and it's better for the big tier games when they want it to be. Like Destiny runs great on GFN. Roku runs great on GFN. There might be other examples, but on average, when I boot up GFN, it's not a great experience. It's nowhere near as good as Stadia. And I'm going to tell you right now, Amazon Luna done caught up. Amazon Luna has made improvements, and they done caught up to GFN. Just that quick. They only been on the scene since what? October. In just a few short months, their quality of service is just as good as GFN, and GFN been out here since 2018. Like, come on, y'all. What is we doing out here? We got to hold these companies all to a test. So, again, watch my video. I think I'm going to drop it around 3:15 in a couple hours. Watch it. Keep in mind, I'm not getting on GFN's case because I'm like, oh, GFN is horrible. It's trash. No, there's room for improvement with all of them. But I'm here to show y'all that not one single service right now is the silver bullet. These services know that, and they're still working on their individual platforms to get them to that point. Let's not do what they don't want us to do, which is use them against each other. All the cloud gaming needs to rise together so we can show that cloud gaming can get to a point to where it can match 1v1 versus dedicated device gaming. Stadia is showing you performance-wise that they can. GFN is showing you game volume-wise that they can. Amazon is showing you that subscription-wise that they can. So let's just work together and make sure that all these platforms are getting better and we're holding all their feet to the fire. I'm well over my time, but I want to thank everybody for joining. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate and love all of y'all. Thank y'all so much. And until next time, you check out my video. It's going to come out in like a couple hours. Stay tuned. And until next time, y'all have a wonderful gaming day. Peace. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, The Commission is airing on MM2K video channel tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until next time, peace.